Hello, hi, welcome once again to M5's English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan and I'm here on your TV screen to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good. And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good. Okay, well, let's learn English together. And here we are again. We meet again, Mr. Bond. So, how was your weekend? Did you have fun? Did you do lots of exciting things? Good. Weekends are all about fun, so I'm glad that your weekend was good fun. Now, here we are again, back in the studio, ready to start another week of English. Great. Okay then, let's get started. This week, we're going to look at the future again. We already looked at the idea of will, didn't we? Well, this week, we're going to look at another way to talk about the future. This week, we're going to look at future plans using going to. Okay. Now, we also know how to make sentences about the past, don't we? That's right. We know how to use the past simple tense. We know the past simple form of the verb to be. We know that when we make a sentence with the past simple version of the verb to be, the verb changes. In the present simple, the verb to be has got three forms: am, is, and are. We use am for I, is for he, she, and it, and are for you, we, you, and they. When we use the verb to be in the past simple, the verb form changes to was and were. Do you remember? In the past simple, the verb to be has got two forms, not three. We use was for I, he, she, and it, and we use were for you, we, you, and they. Okay, good. Now, would you like to see that in a table? I bet you would, wouldn't you? Well, let's ask Mabel if she can help us, shall we? Mabel, Mabel, please help us out. We know you can do it. You're a frog, not a trout. Okay, great. Now, what else do we know about the different tenses? Well, we learned about using other verbs in the past simple too, didn't we? That's right. We learned the past simple version of the verb to be, and then we looked at using other verbs in the past simple tense. We remember that when we want to make a sentence about the past, we have to change the verb. If the verb is regular, like the verb to work, then how do we change the verb into the past simple form? That's right again. We add ed to the end of the infinitive. We learned that one fantastic thing about the past simple tense is the fact that all the forms are the same. We don't have to worry about changing anything. We can forget about the third person singular. We use the same form for every subject. If we look at the verb to work, in the present simple we have to remember to add s to the infinitive when we're talking about the third person singular, he, she, and it. But when we're using the past simple form of the verb to work, we add ed to the end of the infinitive, work becomes worked, and then nothing. I worked, you worked, he worked, she worked, It worked, we worked, you worked, they worked. It's all worked. Simple. Now, what about verbs in the past simple which don't just add ed? Do you remember? Well, if the verb ends in y, then we have to replace the y with ied. So tidy becomes tidied. I tidy my room every week. Yesterday, I tidied my room. Okay. And what about other changes we need to make in spelling? Well, if the verb ends in vowel plus consonant, then we double the last letter before we add ed. So the verb to stop becomes stopped, not stoped. Now, all of those verbs are regular, but there are lots of verbs which are irregular. With irregular verbs, there is no logic. Logic is dead in the house of irregular verbs. So, with irregular verbs, we have to learn the correct past simple form. And the easiest way to learn them is to use them again and again and again. Now, do you feel ready for another table? You do? Well, all right then. Mabel, Mabel, electric cable. Show us a chart with all of your heart, please. Great, and on we go. One for all and all for one. Now, so we've looked at the present simple, the present continuous, the past simple, and now let's have a quick run through will. We use will to talk about the future in English. Will is incredibly easy to use. It uses the same form for all subjects. I will, you will, he will, she will, it will, you will, we will, they will. It's all will. All we do is select the personal pronoun we want, and then it's plain sailing. We don't have to worry about changes in spelling for the third person singular or anything like that. We just follow the subject with will and then add the infinitive. Simple, easy, easy as pie. Okay, so we know when we use will. It's for the future, and we know how easy it is to use it. All we have to do is start with the subject, I, you, Dave, Mary, then add will, and remember we normally prefer to use the short version, and then follow it with the infinitive without to. Would you like to see a table for will as well? Well, okay. Let's ask our favorite amphibian. Mabel, Mabel, you can do what no man can. Do it again, please. Show us a plan. Great! And so, on we go to the next level. Yes, all you devotees of Yoda, it's time to have our first look at going to. Bachinga bonga! Okay, so we already learned that we use will to talk about the future. But, we don't only use will to talk about the future. In some situations, will is perfectly okay. But in other situations, we need to use something else. One of those situations is when we're talking about a future plan. When we're talking about a future plan, we use going to. Simple as that. Okay, so let's have a look at going to. Now, I said that we use going to talk about future plans. This means that when I use going to, I already decided to do something. The decision was made in the past, but the action itself is going to take place in the future. Okay, great. Now, what do we need to know about the form of going to? How do we put a sentence together with going to? Well, it's quite simple, but we have to use the verb to be. We use the verb to be, am, is, are, and then we add going to, followed by a verb in the infinitive without to. So, what do we have to be careful about? That's right. We have to be careful with the verb to be. It changes for different subjects, doesn't it? So, if we're talking about ourselves, we use I am. If we're talking about you, then we use you are. If we're talking about the third person singular, then we use he, she, it is. And if we're talking about the plural subjects, we use are. We are, you are, and they are. Great! Now, tomorrow, we'll come back to going to and look at it again. But for now, yes, it's that time again. It's time to welcome the better class of Electric Eel to the studio. Take it away, Miss Fotherington Smythe. Here's Enid, everyone. Give her a big hand.
Well, hello, people. Hello, hello. Now, how are you all today? Are you all fine? You are? Excellent. Wonderful. Marvelous. Splendid. Now, today I want to talk to you about cleaning. I know it's not very much fun, is it? But spring is coming, and that means that soon it'll be time for my annual spring clean. That means I have to take the rugs outside and beat them. I have to hoover all the carpets because I can't take them outside. They're all too big. I use the verb to hoover. Everyone does. The proper verb is to vacuum, but everyone uses the verb they made from the company that makes vacuum cleaners. Before I put the rugs back into the rooms, I wash the floor, and then, when the floors are dry, I polish the floors with floor polish. Then I do all the dusting. I take a feather duster. I use a feather duster made from Keith's old feathers, and I move it over the furniture, picking up dust. That's dusting. After I finish with the dusting and the floor cleaning, I go into the bathroom and use lots and lots of chemicals to remove the limescale from wet places, like the taps and the shower and bath. Limescale is that hard, white stuff that comes from water. The kettle's always full of limescale. After that, I rinse the bathroom taps and the shower to get rid of the chemicals, and rinse the kettle with lots and lots of water so that my tea tastes of tea, not of chemicals. And then I sit down with Keith, put my feet up and have a cup of tea and watch something on TV. After my spring clean, I need a break. And now, just talking about it, I feel tired. I'm off for a little lie down. I'm going to have a nap. Toodaloo, pip pip, chitty bye.
Well, she's gone for a nap, and we're also out of time. That's right. That's all the time we've got for today's lesson. Okay, well, bye, until we meet again. Thanks for watching, and remember to check out all the videos and more at m5tv.hu. Don't forget, I'm Gav Duncan, and not only am I taller than Jean-Claude Van Damme, but I'm also younger, much younger than Chuck Norris. See you later. Bye.